Welcome to the MTBC Telling Our Stories podcast. I am your host, the Associate Pastor here at Mount Tabor Baptist Church, Daniel Nally. And this podcast is us here at MTBC at Mount Tabor sharing our stories. I hope you enjoy your time as you listen to the testimonies and the stories of people of our church. And I hope you share these stories with friends, people that are hurting, people that need encouragement. So let's give a listen to our story for the day. Welcome back to another MTBC Telling Our Stories. Today we have Mr. Bob LeRoy sitting down with us, or sitting in the seat. Mr. Bob, I appreciate you coming and spending time with me, you and Miss Kay. You'll see Miss Kay video at some point. I don't know which one will go first. But anyways, thank you for sitting down with us.
Well, I appreciate you having us.
Yeah. So before we really dive into your story of how you met Jesus, I want the people to know kind of who you are, things that you enjoy, whether it be hobbies, family, things like that. And so would you go ahead and share a little bit about your life?
Well, my wife, Kay, and we have two boys, Alan and Michael, both of them in their 40s, and busy as they can be with their life.
Yep.
But it's, just hobbies, more about sports and just going, to Clemson and seeing football and basketball and baseball and, following different things. I've been involved in sports all my life, so it's just been one thing that, I enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and you said sports all your life. Obviously, you played and everything, but you also coached for many years. Well, how long were you coach?
I coached basketball for about 34 years, football for 40, and off and on baseball maybe about 10.
Okay. Now, here's the real question. What was your favorite sport to coach?
Basketball.
Basketball? Okay. Why?
I've always enjoyed being able to make the adjustments, being able to dictate on defense what the other team can do, that type of stuff.
Okay. So the X's and O's of it and things like that. That's awesome.
Kay always used to get mad at me with, I'd sit there with a piece of paper and I'd be drawing plays and drawing stuff.
While you at the dinner table and supposed to be eating his green beans.
Oh yeah.
That's sometimes the life of a coach, I hear. I appreciate it. I've never asked you that question, I don't think. It's basketball, favorite sport to coach.
I mean, it's when I got into coaching, everybody coached football. I mean, that was just part of it. When you got hired, if you're a male, you coach football.
Yeah, well, you have to have a lot of coaches on a football team.
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of it. And I enjoyed football. I did. But basketball is one of the sports that I grew up loving. And, of course, I enjoyed baseball, but I didn't coach it that often.
Yeah.
On the high school level.
Yeah.
So
you did mostly middle school and JV and stuff like that?
No, it's just I coached my kids in Little League and all that. And eventually coached at the high school level, JV and varsity. One of the most enjoyable times that I had was when my son Alan was the head baseball coach at Indian Land, and I was his assistant coach.
Okay.
So I got to work with him, and that was a special time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially, you put in all those hours training him up and teaching him how to swing a bat and throw a ball and everything, and to see him.
He's a lot better than I ever was when I had it.
Well, it's just cool. We probably got to see him do the same for the next generation. So.
Oh, yes.
That's neat. Well, thank you for sharing about your life. Would you mind sharing about how you came to know Jesus?
I was 11 or 12 years old, and I'd been going to church all my life. I mean, my parents, it was not a choice to go to church as a child. Every Sunday you went. End of discussion. And I was around 11 or 12 years old, and they had a revival going on at our church.
Okay.
And the convictions just hit me. And I went down and made my profession of faith, and that was the time that it was. I mean, but I'd been in church, I'd been in Sunday school, I'd been Bible school.
Mm-hmm.
It was Southern Baptist Church.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah. Something was different that day, though.
oh yeah, it was that night. God
you're
took
right.
hold of my heart, and that was all there was to it.
Yeah. That's awesome. So from 12 years old to this day where you gave your life to Jesus to now, looking back, have there been any moments or situations where you look and see God's hand was in this, or Jesus, he was in the boat with me during this?
Oh yeah, multiple times. I mean, we were, you know, we were at Lawrence. We're happy. We were, real happy there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the position of head boys, I'd been the head girls basketball coach, and the position of head boys basketball coach came up, and I'd been the assistant with the boys as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I applied for the job. I felt like I was the most qualified.
Mm-hmm.
And it went to somebody else because of nice political, wonderful stuff that happens.
Yeah.
And because of that, I decided, and also Kay was having some problems with the principal at that time as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his comment was she was failing too many kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we started looking, and I went around all over multiple places interviewing in jobs, and went to Fort Mill and applied at Fort Mill and talked to them, and they gave a job to somebody else that was really, really good. I mean, one of my good friends. But then I went to Indian Land, and I applied at Indian Land.
Mm-hmm.
And the statement was, okay, well, we can't make a decision. We're also looking for a head football coach and AD because he'd gotten dismissed too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, okay, fine. Well, one of the guys that I coached with in Lawrence, and unbeknownst to me, he had applied for the job of head football coach and AD, and he got the job. And so when Steve got that job, then he got some input into the basketball coach. And so I got that job. And because as much as anything, Steve knew I knew basketball, but he also knew that I knew the system he was going to be putting in football. And there were only 3 varsity coaches.
Oh, wow.
4 varsity coaches to do varsity and JV.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. For football?
For football.
Oh,
This is a 1A school.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
Small
that's
1A school.
Yeah.
So he knew that I had coached both offense and defense at Lawrence, and I knew the system we were going to be putting in. And so, but God's in it all with all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Indian Land, Fort Mill area was at the late 80s. It's a great place to live. I mean, for the first couple of years, Kay and I lived in Rock Hill in an apartment complex because, and this is another part of it that was really hard. Kay left to go up there, and she didn't have a job. So we went from 2 incomes to 1 income.
Yeah.
And we couldn't sell our house, so we still had a house payment. We had a rent payment. So you moved from 2 incomes to 1 income and 2 payments instead of 1. And so it was tough. But she took substitute jobs, and as she's said many times, that just when the kids needed a pair of shoes or whatever, a substitute position came open for her.
Yeah.
To make enough money to pay for what we needed to pay. So and we eventually sold our house, and everything worked out. She got her job at Northwestern, and so it all worked out good there. God's working all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got a plan, and we just got to figure out where we are in it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that's very similar to her story that she said is about trusting God's plan. It's interesting to hear about trusting even when you don't know if you can afford some new pair of shoes for your kids, or what is the next meal going to be. Those questions that I think bog us down a lot are really worry and stress us out.
Oh, yeah.
The reality of trusting in the Lord through it.
Yeah. It's hard to let go and trust him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're not very good at it. But as you just said, he supplied all y'all needed.
Oh, yeah. Every time we needed something, Kay got substitute jobs.
Yeah.
Of course, as she would tell you, that by substituting in the various levels of the schools, she found out for sure that she did not want to do middle school.
Middle school is a tough age. They're interesting people, that's for sure. Middle schoolers are. But I mean, I hear a lot of the Lord working in the background in your life is what I'm hearing. You talk about that you're applying for these positions and looking for a job, and way back here, even without you knowing, he's already working. He's already bringing in this person that knows who you are and knows the character you have and the coaching expertise that you have and things like that. Even in moving and transitions, it sounds like the same thing, that God was working in the background in your life.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. I mean, in my mind, there's absolutely no doubt that God's plan is there all along, and we just have to trust him, and his timing is not our timing.
Yeah, we need to write that one down somewhere. His timing is not our timing, because that may be the hardest part of it all.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Is that
Definitely.
we are experiencing something and we want it fixed now. Which, I mean, y'all moved, and then how long was it until Miss K got a job?
It was a full year before.
Yeah, it's a full year.
Yeah.
Now, if you had to pick out what you do, you probably wouldn't wait a full year for a position.
No, but eventually, I mean, the position came open at Northwestern, and the principal at Indiana, she had gotten, well, maybe it was 2 years it was 2 years because she got a job as a aide at Indian Land the second year. And so the principal at Indian Land knew the principal at Northwestern and told him, hey, I've got this good person for this position that you got coming open.
There you go. And it worked out because, as she said in her story, she retired from that school.
Yes. She loved it there.
Yeah. So, got to trust in the Lord with his plan with that.
Oh, yeah.
So with all these situations and trusting and, really relying on the Lord, have there been passages of scripture or verses of the Bible that have been very, poignant or very crucial for you?
I guess for me, one I keep going back to is Romans 8:28. That, things, in paraphrase, things are going to work out for those who trust the Lord.
Yeah.
He's going to take care of you. He's got a plan. He's going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And all we got to do is trust in him.
Yeah.
Hard as that is sometimes.
Hard as that is. But that's the truth. I mean, and that's a very crucial verse, I would say, in y'all's life. Trusting in him and in these situations and moves and job change and waiting through it all. So the Romans 8:28, trust in the Lord. That's awesome. Now, for someone listening to your story, Mr. Bob, of, I was saved at a revival at a young age, and, I went through life and tried to follow the Lord best as I could and trust him, through all these ups and downs and twists and turns. What is one thing you want, whoever listens to your story, one thing you want them to know about Jesus if they listen to this?
Jesus always is there for you. He's got a plan for your life. And our job is simply to follow him and do the best that we can. I can't pretend that I do everything right and I do everything good, because I mess up a lot. But he's always there. And he's got the overall plan, just like you were talking about earlier. We may not see it and we may want it right now, but he's got a plan worked out. And we just have to try to follow it to the best we can and do what he would want us to do.
Yeah, that's a good word. Good word for us all to remember. Well, Mr. Bobby, have any other last things you want to say or things you want to point out?
Just that I appreciate Mount Tabor and all the people of this church.
Mm.
From the first time that Kay and I walked in the doors, we were welcomed.
Mm.
It's such a loving, wonderful group of people who care for you, and that the word is preached here every doggone Sunday and Wednesday, and that we appreciate all that people have done for us and accepted us and helped us because we love it here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I want to say I appreciate y'all for paying that forward, because when I'm going around and shaking hands and talking to visitors, I definitely see y'all doing the same. Y'all put y'all's Bibles down in y'all's side spot right there in the pew, and then I see y'all go and talk to people in your area and go welcome visitors. So y'all are doing the same thing that brought y'all here, really.
Well, it's in my opinion, that's what you're supposed to do. Is you're supposed to make people welcome, and we know what it's like to walk in and be the stranger.
Yep.
Because when we came into this church, Jeff and Jenny would have been the only two people that we had any relationship with whatsoever. So, it was, we know what it feels like to walk in and you don't know anybody.
Yeah. It's almost like being the new kid at school sometimes.
And this isn't the first. I mean, when we went to Indian Land, Pleasant Valley, we didn't know a soul at that church either when we went there. So we know what that's like. And it was very similar to this one. It was very welcoming, very wonderful church as well.
I appreciate that. Well, for anyone sitting here, if you would ever walk through the doors of Mount Tabor Baptist Church, we got a few people that want to say hey and know what it feels like to be the new one. Mr. Bob, I appreciate you sitting down with me and sharing your heart and your story of what Jesus has done, and really the story of what it means to trust God even when we can't see what he's doing. So I want to say thank you again.
I just appreciate, thank you for all you're doing with this.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to see what your story will do and how it'll encourage others. So we will see whose story is next that we hear.
That's wonderful.